Cloud infrastructure. So yeah, let me make a quick one here. Ready, go. All right, so we're going to talk about the registers. I was just reading this article, which basically confirms what I've been saying for a while, which makes me like it. But that yeah, companies don't want cloud; they want to be on-prem. And he talks about money. They can't practice can't put it on their local lab at home, and it makes it impossible for them to recommend or learn or everything. And the biggest challenge to tech right now is education. So if you're going to make it not free, then you can't learn it, and your developer community is going to dry up. Modern full stack, I fucking hate that term, but modern full stack web development is not JavaScript everywhere. Modern one. They don't put Node on the back end as much as they used to. Not even TypeScript. Some places do, but they're moving away from that. Not the same as a microservices developer or engineer. But they overlap in many, many ways. So when people say they want to be a backend engineer, I'm like, well, do you want to write microservices or do you want to write the backend of a web application? Because they're totally different. They have overlap, but they're different. Backend is the function, front end is the interaction. Yeah. If you want a product that reaches audience, that's the answer, front end. Yeah. If you like graphics, then if you like making apps, graphic apps, then do front end. If you like to live in the terminal all day and play around with REST APIs and curl and Go and Python and all of that stuff, then you want to just learn that. I don't think you should try to be full stack. And I know that's a very unpopular opinion. I think it's a myth, stuff about it. You can't learn at all. You can't. In fact, just learning how to do APIs well and talk to a database all by itself is a specialization. So I would find something you really like to do and specialize. And if you like the terminal and stuff like that, back end, if you like graphic stuff, do the front end. They are developers. It is hard to learn that shit. But they're also primarily designers. And that's why I like front end design. I think people that really thrive in the front end are really, really into user interaction and graphics. And then they add the complexity of Reactor Review to do that, to do front end development. I was a webmaster, is the word they used to call it. I made FiberNet's website. It was all HTML and CSS. There was no back end. Then at the same time, I learned Perl. And then I became, because I wanted to make our forums work on our web pages, I realized how awesome it was. And gradually, all I wanted to do was back end system stuff. I think the best way to think of an application is in terms of its API. We live in an API world. Kubernetes, cloud native microservices, JavaScript, JSON. We live in it. If you think of everything in terms of what is the API, then everything else is kind of trivial, actually. Rated job out there is API developer, somebody who makes a really solid, clean API that the front end people can use, and that command line, utility applications developers can also use because they did it really well. A synonym for on-prem, doing it themselves. And I'm just going to say it again. This is why you should learn on-prem Kubernetes, because that's where the money is, or on-prem, whatever. But the reality is, as we've seen objectively right here, that the money that is going into doing self-hosting services, people are testing about hybrid, but they do not want to go there. Tier 1 infrastructure is being provided as a service. In other words, they don't want to be in the cloud. They don't. They're too scared. And that is exactly the case for us. All the machine learning stuff right now would be so expensive and undoable in the cloud, but they're still playing with GCP. That's exactly what it is. It's like, wait, but we still have to trust somebody to hold our money for us, so we have to decide who's going to be trustworthy. Oh, wait, we already have that. And that power is going to get consolidated in a few hands. I know. And it's just, yeah. I mean, if you're in New York City and you literally stop somebody on the street and handed them a chocolate bar, you get punched. You get beat with a purse and people would run away. I mean, that's what would happen, right? People don't read your about page. No matter how much I yell at them, no matter how much I say, they just don't do it. And they much would rather have a live interaction. So a command always is better, no matter how much you don't like how spammy it might get.